one hasn't
you see,
seen any corrective action.
It is the mismanagement. It is the mismanagement of the whole system which is in fact responsible, not the some of the integrity of the judges, which is now responsible for the loss of confidence that the public has now in judicial system.
Is that completely correct, Mr. Sorabji? Is it only a question of the mismanagement of the system? Are there no questions of integrity at all?
No, that I didn't mean. I said yes, we have, because you see, it is the social degradation everywhere. After all, the judicial members come from the same society, and therefore there are, I don't say there is no corruption or there is no doubt in the integrity of some of the judges, but that doesn't mean that the whole system has become rotten or the whole system is now not working properly. We work in a very different working conditions. Our working culture is little different than from other systems. And if you just accuse people, if you just accuse the judges and say that you should look to the system, there is something wrong in the system also which is responsible, I think, for all the, I would say, the loss of confidence in public in the judicial system, which is more to be taken care of.
But what is the level of introspection which has happened? What is the level of action? Because, Mr. Sorabji, most people in judicial circles are not comfortable with these observations. Neither are they comfortable with having a watchdog over them, like was proposed in the Lokpal bill.
No, but no question of not being comfortable. Senior members on the occasion demands it. We ourselves have expressed grave reservations about certain judgments, about certain judges. Point Annab is this. There is no question about it. If there was an attempt to flout the order of the Supreme Court, that must be come down with a heavy hand. But here I believe the question was, tenants had given an undertaking, subtenants had the independent price, they said they had not given undertaking, possibly they were put up by the landlord, but they should be heard. You must give a proper hearing. What's the idea of getting into a rage and saying, give possession at a certain time, ask the judge to come before the court, make observations which did completely ruin her career. Now it's in transfer to the Delhi High Court. Then I suppose Delhi High Court will properly, in a mature, sensible, dispassionate manner hearing. That's the question. No question, Justice Karju means well.
Yes.
But it's not the doing the right thing, but the right way of doing it. The manner of doing it is very important. And that's where I find fault with it.
What's the bigger issue? With a lot of people will say, Anil Dewan, that there are two questions we have raised here. One is the intent and the second is the method. Soli Sorabji is saying the intent of Justice Karju is good, but he's questioning the method. He's saying maybe not as a dispensation of justice with rage. Where do you stand? Can we ignore the method?
Hello?
Can we ignore the intent and the issue, Anil Dewan?
I don't think we should ignore the issue nor the method. But let me tell you this.
Correct.
I am not aware of the facts, but it is possible that the subtenants have an independent right. It is possible that the landlord and the tenant may in a given case collude and take a collusive decree.
Yes.
So unless you know all the facts, it's very difficult to say one way or the other. Now, the point which you raised on the level of action, I think as far as complaints against the judiciary are concerned, the level of action desires is, I think, pathetic. We are taking no action for entertaining complaints made by responsible bar associations. There is no mechanism, etc. People are afraid of contempt of court, etc. Now, I think Justice Karju is right, but I would like Justice Karju to give us some positives. How does he want to tackle the problem?
Exactly.
Let's have some proactive steps.
Well,
I think we should be more constructive. Criticism is quite good. I am not saying good or bad. But what are the steps? What are the proactive steps taken by the Supreme Court? What are the proactive steps taken by the Collegium? What are the proactive steps being taken generally by the judiciary to repel this particular, would I say, perception which has been now vocalized by Justice Karju? I think that's more important.
that is
What is the road map to improve things?
Well, In that case, Justice Karju must
And
be encouraged. Yes.
I find that the bills which are pending, there is no movement forward. Now let me give you a very simple case. The appointment system of the collegium. We have a reported case where I appeared for Shanti Bhushan. We challenged a particular appointment of Justice Ashok Kumar, who is now retired. He was not confirmed as an additional judge on grounds of integrity by the collegium consisting of Rumapal and others. Immediately the former Chief Justice of India comes in, and it's all on record. Without consulting the collegium, this particular gentleman has been confirmed as a permanent judge. Now we have fought this case and we have lost. What is the action being taken?
It's a very valid
reported case. I'm not saying anything else. Nothing is moving.
No, it's
Arnab,
yes, Mr. Sorabji.
May I make a practical, constructive suggestion, taking up on which Anis said? I think every high court to which the subordinate judiciary is under its superintendence and control, every high court should have a judicial ombudsman. All these complaints against subordinate judges should be before ombudsman of 1 or 3 judges. They must see to the complaints, filter out frivolous ones and take action. Because after all, the Chief Justice of a High Court is really responsible for its subordinate judiciary. If this sort of a mechanism is set up in different high courts, I think we may get some good results.
I think it's a very good point, but my last question is to Vikas. Vikas, there is a cozy relationship which many people believe has been established between some judges, lawyers, in some cases some officials, and nobody wants to upset this cozy relationship. So when just people like Justice Karju make a comment like the one he made on Allahabad or the one he made here, he almost seems to threaten the base of this cozy relationship which exists. Is it completely untrue, Vikas? I'm just asking you that the cozy relationship exists, that lawyers profit from the cozy relationship and some judges also do. And is it true that in some cases, even ex and retired judges, terrorize at the local level, at the subordinate level, use their influence to influence decisions? Do these things happen or not? Almost a system of judicial terrorism at the lower level.
Arnab, I totally agree with you that these things definitely happen. In fact, I am of the firm view that the members of the judiciary are not to be. You can't justify what is happening in the judiciary as a general degradation that has taken place in society. I feel when you become a member of the judiciary, you are to be kept at a higher pedestal, and the standards expected of you are much higher than what would expect from an ordinary citizen or an ordinary businessman. So in that sense, to say that you will justify what you're doing as if that is the general degradations existing in society. I don't subscribe to this view at all. It's like it's like this instance where a small child in a village, if he passes a comment against a girl, people will say he's a child immature. But if a sadhu were to do it, people will stone him. So you expect that kind of a standard from a judge. He's like the sadhu in society. If the sadhu starts behaving like this, then it is something which is completely, it is total anarchy according to me. And this, whatever is happening, whatever Justice Karju is saying is definitely laudable, and actually steps need to be taken, but it has to be done with a very calibrated manner, because ultimately the judiciary is the last recourse, and the executive, if there is any power on the executive to do this control, there will be a chance of misuse, and there will be a chance of so we have to, within the judiciary itself, find an in-house mechanism, both for the lower judiciary as well as for the High Court, and I would say even for the Supreme Court, where the black sheep is identified and action taken very swiftly within the system.
Absolutely. I think the question is to bring in,
without it going outside.
Some level of moderation, reduce the excess that is going on in the lower courts, and make the average citizen feel a little involved. Gentlemen, thank you for that perspective tonight. I am getting so much feedback. Maybe we'll just pack it in one bag, Soli Sorabji, and send it to Justice Karju so that he sees the level of public debate he has started once again. There's one thing about Justice Karju. You may like him, you may disagree with him, but his comments always attract a lot of attention. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me on Debate 1 on the News Hour tonight.